Hello, there we go. Today we're gonna be playing a bit more Space Engineers, and as you can tell, I'm loading in. The reason we're gonna be playing a bit of Space Engineers is because I'm gonna be working on the survival world that me and Ruben are gonna be playing on. And we were working on a base, then he had to go away on vacation, and I'm sort of left here, and then I bought some more RAM for my computer because I kept running out, and now I finally have it. So 32 gigs available. Yeah, that's right. I had 16 and I kept running out of RAM. I was running at 15.9. So I think, of course, I'm gonna have to pause this recording here because it's gonna take a while to load. So I'll be right back once it has. Never mind. It took literally 3 seconds after I paused the recording and everything worked. Okay, before we start up here, I'm gonna have to find the quick save and quick load buttons. No use of that. Yes, my computer is a bit loud because of the graphics card's fans. Shift F5. Why the fuck is that the quick save? We'll do a save. Yes. Okay. So here we have our little plane. I've used this to prospect for ground for the new base. And if I open my GPS and I set this to show on HUD and I start signals, you can see it's 31 kilometers away that direction. I flew off over there and I ended up over there. So I do believe I turned the antenna on the base off. Yes, we will need to turn that on. Where is it? Oh, it's set to not show on HUD, which makes that much sense, I guess. There it is. What are you doing over here? Okay, let's do that first of all so we don't run out of the annoying things. Platinum, primarily. Small steel tubes, metal grids, motors, and plates. Goodness. I think I missed something. Yes, the tubes, of course. That means we will need to make a few hundred more of these. So that we shall. I'll be back once I have these done. This is one of those situations where you just tell everything to go fuck itself. Out of hydrogen. I'll be right back. Alright, that's everything running smoothly with a whopping 260% effectiveness and 200% productivity. I opted against using that thing. Okay. Because I have, as it turns out, for fuck's sake, modded the standard one so it's a little bit more useful, so to speak. It increases by 2, not by 50%. Okay, wait. Module. I think I removed that. Yeah. I removed that. I removed the N-Tech Infinity upgrade. It's a pretty cool mod, actually. Makes things a little bit more creative, if you will. That's the wrong room. Alright. So we're gonna get rid of everything that is not steel. And we're gonna begin the central room. I don't know, me and Ruben went for a pretty big flying base last time, and it was like... It was pretty cool, but... It used a central reactor, which was... It was a cool design and all, but... Or a cool idea, but... The design ended up failing us. We had an idea that we wanted to move this with us. But honestly, I don't think it's worth moving. At least not in its giants. That would turn it into a separate grid. So we don't want to do that. But they're on the same block plane, so I should be able to reattach them to each other. Yeah, they're on the same block plane. Where the hell is the cockpit control station? We're just gonna bring this over here and see the mass of this thing. Because it is a static grid that I don't think we'll ever be able to disconnect from the universe. Right. Righto. Alright. I don't think we'll be able to move that because we made a static grid, which is not optimal. So I think what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to... Okay, we're gonna need some form of tug ship, so let's get started with that. Where is that goddamn landing gear? Okay, I made a really small tug ship last time. It wasn't very powerful. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 9 by... I think we'll do 5. And I don't think we'll do that. Now Ruben had the brilliant idea of using the modular thrusters, but they're a bit finicky. Plus, they each require 600 thruster components, which is not exactly something I can get behind using. Yeah, not exactly. I guess we could do hydrogen. I'll get rid of the AV thrusters, so we're just glitchy anyway, so reliable, but they weren't glitchy. They're reliable, but they're pretty glitchy. Right, that pad was on for some reason. So we're gonna have to start thinking of thrusters. Atmospheric. I'll be back once I figure this out. Alright. Sorry, I completely forgot about recording there for a second. But I have now upgraded these. I have upgraded the refinery over here. I've also gone and eaten a little bit, so I'm not hungry anymore. And yeah, so we've got materials coming in, and we are building this tug. The tests I made over, yeah, to say the least, it blew up in my face, like very badly. But here we're going with the actual tug, and I've decided upon engines. We're going to be using the atmospheric thrusters. I have also decided upon a different shape. We're going to go with the sort of I don't remember what it's called. But we're gonna go with this design simply. I think this is like standard drone design. There we go. We're gonna go with that. So yeah. Alright, that makes 9 thrusters, right? No, that's 12 thrusters. We can begin by getting an insane amount of steel. Actually, that means I will need to go mine for iron, because we are almost out. Would you not fly faster than light? Oh. Platinum. It's ironic that we get more platinum than gold. But that 16k of iron should yield quite a bit. Better since we got that efficiency. Yeah, we're almost going plus what we stuffed in there. We're actually going plus what we stuffed in there. Assembler 2 will be looping steel. Oh my god, really? Because we are gonna need a lot of steel plates. You may be asking, why 4 gyros? It's a fairly small ship. Well, please, buttons, react. It's gonna be moving fairly hefty loads, and these loads are obviously not gonna be gyroscopically stabilized themselves, so we are gonna need so we're gonna need... What the fuck? So we're gonna need this to be very well stabilized, and I may as well pick this up. That, for some reason, freaked the game out. Alright, we'll begin with the steel plates, because everything requires quite a few of them. No, stop clipping. You may not see the problems I'm having with the game, which is mostly response and sometimes, for example, the jetpack just decides that it doesn't want to really work. And it just decides that, nope, it's gonna be weak as fuck right now. Usually it's when I'm going fairly fast and okay, that was me being stupid. Usually it's when I'm going fairly fast and I'm going towards an object that it's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna be either super powerful or not powerful at all. One or the other. Like there, when it didn't actually want to turn on. I think that's my keyboard being a bit spongy though. Got some crap. Yeah, I had ribs, so made my own spare ribs. Alright. Let's get this all welded up. Okay, let's do construction components next. Please. Let's get one of these stations going here in the very center, actually. Oh my god, because it's so important to have a specific type of plate for this goddamn vehicle. You stupid. I don't know why there can't just be like everything is made with a steel plate, like placed with a steel plate, and then like everything except the window maybe is placed with a steel plate, and then it's built up with interior plates. I am actually very surprised that that's not a thing. I'm going to be using these things as primary power. Two of them, actually. Then we're going to put a single... I think... Holy crap. Portable reactor. What's that? Oh, it's cute. I think I'm gonna go with a Hyperion reactor. A small-sized Hyperion reactor. Yeah, we're gonna need this thing as assistance, or as mainly as charging the batteries, you know. Again! No power upwards. Okay, now next we do all the funky components, like please. Oh my god, why is my everything itching? There's freaking everything in here. This can go back in here. We're gonna need this. We're gonna need a lot of those. Let's just grab a few of the more annoying ones that you're gonna need insane levels of. We're gonna need a lot of motors for this. That one actually has a lot of components. Motors, tubes. I'm gonna have to move that, so that's why I'm not finishing up the landing gear, if you're wondering. Well, we've got all the construction components, so we can dump these parts. No. We'll do large steel tubes, because I do believe a lot of things here use them. See what I mean? I just couldn't get this thing to stop. Well, I do believe that's because I'm maxed out on the volume. Some of these things, oddly enough, already have their tubes. I guess I had some in my inventory when I started this construction. Okay, next up is grids. That's another one of the more annoying components. Let's do that. And I'm already out of hydrogen. I think I may cut the video here just so you guys don't have to watch me run back and forth a whole lot more, but maybe. These gyroscopes use a lot of grids. Don't know why. Computer displays and glass. I don't know why there's bulletproof glass on this thing. Okay, next up is motors. Do we have nowhere near enough? Righto, let's have assembler. You are continually producing plates. You can end with that. We'll take assembler 1 and we will tell this thing to produce about 2,000 motors, something. We'll do motors. And we'll do everything except the thrusters for now. That is a very disorienting view. I didn't put grids in this, or tubes. I guess I'm gonna go fetch that. And I forgot that I'm gonna need thrusters in every direction, not just upwards. Let's do another 700. That should do it for the next 3. That thing needed more steel, oddly enough. Alright, so we have that. So we needed a bunch of tubes. Grids. And you know what, we'll do computers. I know there's a few things that need them, so. Now we just need a bunch of power cells to power this thing up. Displays and glass. Reactor components and displays. Okay. So we are... Again! Upgood doesn't work very well. It's really funky. Alright, so we need some bulletproof glass, we need some displays, and I of course don't have enough because for some reason I never have any displays in storage. Weird. Okay, we have our control station. Now we need a bunch of power cells. But we are also gonna need a few more steel plates and a few more of every component because I was stupid. So we're gonna grab our steel. And actually, I think I can do this in a different way. This is gonna have a ludicrous amount of upwards thrust. Granted, we're gonna need it.
Energy low.
Okay, that's gonna keep us from drifting all too bad. all tea bad. Get to come in off of 3 of them at least. Or at least 2. Yeah, 2. I'm not going to get away with 3. No. Tubes, grids, and motors. Tubes, grids, and a few motors actually. We don't need that many. We appear to be out of nickel though. Assembler 2, can you make a couple more motors? Yeah, you're not out of nickel, you're out of... Stupid bastard, you were out of iron. Make a few more. Let me just deal with this. Alright, and that should be about pit. Reactor components and displays is all we need here. Okay, we are clearly overloading. We're guaranteed to need that reactor very much. Reactor components and displays. That looks pretty cool though. And again, I'm out of displays. I swear. Okay, good. We have a reactor. Now we can check the refineries, see how much uranium they have. Okay, those batteries are gonna go dead anytime soon, very soon, so we will just boom. $150 tons? Okay, okay. Holy crap. Not exactly what I was trying to do here, but... my keyboard being unresponsive is sometimes the very bane of my existence, you see. Ironically enough, it's not because it's cheap quality, because it's actually a fairly expensive keyboard. It's more the reasoning that it's just old. Like... really old. Okay, now this thing can spin quite significantly fast, and why it doesn't try to even level itself out is beyond my understanding. But obviously, we have a few gyros. Too many. And you did that, why? Fucking full inventory bull crap. Gyros containing so much goddamn shit, it's not even funny. I hate the fact that there's no such thing as auto-sorting in this game. I love the game, but I hate the fact that there's no auto-sorting. It's really, really, really 1,350% more frustrating than it has to be because of this. And now my nose is itching again. Hello, pick it up. My nose is itching like crazy today. I don't want to put away my hydrogen, thank you. Okay, I am actually really tired. So let's try this thing out again. That's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting. Alright. And now now that we have this thing, let's see if we can. Again with the weird jetpack. And the camera is configured that way, why? Alright, let's lock that down. Now you should see, just because I did that, it's gonna explode. Alright, so we will do a... And of course, I have no more steel plates in my inventory because I just cleared it out. This is what's great about creative mode. Well, honestly, I think that's quite enough video for now. 30 minutes is more. 30 minutes of me just lollygagging about building something like that is more than what most people can handle. So, yeah, I'm gonna call that enough.